I want to talk to you today about something that's kind of been rolling around in my brain, and it's a question that I've had and spent some time thinking about, and I think I have an answer, maybe not a complete answer, but an answer nonetheless. But before we jump into that, I want to ask you to do me a favor. If you enjoy these videos or know someone that might, would you subscribe to the page if you haven't done that yet? It's a joy for me to be able to put these together. I like the process, I like thinking through these things, and it's helped me even to put some of these videos together, but I want you to get the content when it comes out. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You can hit the notification bell there as well, and that will let you know when new episodes come online. Like it if you like it, share it if you think someone would benefit from it, and we'll continue to put these together. The question is this: why is the world around us so angry? Have you noticed that people seem angry all of the time? If you get on social media, if you watch the news, if you listen to what we call public discourse, it's really just an angry mob, it sounds like most of the time. People screaming at each other, no one can get along. If you disagree with me, then I hate you. There's no other option. There's no civil actual discussion. It's just us pitting one person against another. It seems like everyone is angry all of the time. And yet, particularly here in the United States, there aren't a lot of things to be angry about. Now, we think there are, we feel like there are, but we live in a country that has relative freedom. We're not perfect, but we have a lot of good things going for us. We live at a standard above most of the world around us. Our economy is strong. We may not always like who's running our country or whatever, but this deep anger, where does that come from? Again, this is something I've spent a lot of time thinking about, and I don't have a complete answer perhaps, but I think it comes really from the same nature in man that causes us to rebel against all things that are authority. I think the reason people are so angry often is because they rail against anyone telling them what to do. It's not that they're angry at any one person, they're angry at a system or a group of people or a perceived idea that someone is telling them what to do. You see, man has this idea that we are entirely autonomous, that no one can tell us what to do, that no one can control us, and that freedom means doing whatever we want to do. The hard thing for us to understand often is that the freedoms that I have should not trounce on the freedoms that other people have. The fact that I am autonomous and that I can make decisions on my own and go where I want to and do what I want to does not give me a right then to control or put in place maybe the autonomy of someone else, to keep them from doing what they have a right to do. And we get angry when people say that there are rules, there are regulations, there are standards, and maybe they're even very loose standards of morality. But we get so angry when someone tells us what they think we should do that instead of having a logical conversation or simply listening and then walking away, we rail against those things. You see, it's in us as humans to rebel against any authority, perceived or otherwise. We look at the world and we think, why is it that people are so angry? Is it our politics? Is it our economy? Is it some life situation, something else those people are going through? And all of those things may contribute. But I think at the heart of it, the reason there is so much anger in the world is because we don't like to answer to any kind of authority. Now, we could move outside of the world and bring it home. Why is there so much anger in our home? Why is there so much anger in other relationships? Why is there so much conflict in the world that we live in, our personal world? Why? For the same reason. We want to remain completely autonomous, completely independent. We don't want anyone to tell us what to do or how to act or what to say or where to go. We don't want anyone to offer an opinion that's contrary to ours. And so when someone does, we push back on that. You see, in any relationship, there needs to be a framework from which we operate. There is right, there is wrong, there is morality. And if we're going to get along, if we're going to downplay the anger and the anxiety and the frustration and get to a place where we can have a civil relationship and civil thought and civil interactions with other people, then we have to get to a place where we're willing to submit to the authority of other people, submit to the structure of relationships, submit to the structure or the authority around us. Instead of being angry and taking things personally, we need to do the best that we can operating within the framework that we're given to cooperate, to support, and to serve. You see, when people understand that service is what we were created for, to be a benefit or a blessing to others, to be generous to others, then the anger goes away. But when we feel like everyone owes us something, and they're trying to take that something from us, our natural response is a pushback in anger. The world is angry, but much of what it seems like it's angry at or toward is not really the problem. So much of the world is angry because it's all about the individual instead of serving others. I can't control everyone else, but I can control me. And for me, the answer to anger and the answer to frustration and the answer to so much of my anxiety is looking outside of myself and finding someone else that I can serve. Who are you serving? Why is the world so angry? Because it's forgotten that it's not about you. It's about them. Serve others. And so much of that anger and frustration will go away. Again, we can't control everyone else, but we can control us. What are you going to do? Go out and find someone that you can serve and see if it doesn't make a difference in your life.